Hello, Estes Valley Library patrons. My name is Karen, and I'm part of the program team. And I've got my last part of my mental health series. We're all in this together with my guest and now online friend, Hannah Knox, from the Estes Park School District. So I will let her talk about what we're here today for.
Hi, everyone, and thanks, Karen, for having me again. Today, we're going to talk about fueling your body for wellness. So I am the mental health clinician at Estes Park School District. So that means I work with students and families from kindergarten through seniors in high school. And I do a lot of counseling, mental health referrals, and case management. But before all that, or while I was being trained as a counselor, I was actually a personal trainer and a group fitness instructor at Colorado State University throughout my undergraduate and graduate careers there. So I do have some training and certifications in talking about a little bit of nutrition and how your physical wellness impacts your mental wellness. So that's kind of what we're touching on today. We're going to talk about food, some nutrition guidelines, hydration, drinking water, and then a little bit of sleep stuff, and provide you resources as well. And those will be available in the links to this Zoom. A lot of my work with students and families, I call granola bar counseling. And that's specifically because I think sometimes as human beings, and especially as kids who are learning to fuel their bodies, we totally forget that what we eat, if we slept the night before, what we've been drinking has an impact on our mood and our emotions, especially. So I'll have students who come into the office and they're like, I just feel so shaky, I'm anxious, I'm really stressed out. And I take a couple steps back. Well, did you have breakfast this morning? What did your sleep look like? And usually the answers are, no, I was up until 2 a.m. and I skipped breakfast and all this stuff. It's like, okay, well, here's a granola bar or something. We have a lot of food there. Let's eat that, and then let's talk in a few minutes. And typically a lot of those symptoms that feel like anxiety or some really heavy things oftentimes are low blood sugar, hunger, sleep deprivation. So a lot of the counseling work I do, especially with kids, involves like daily wellness. We do have a responsibility as human beings to take the best care of ourselves as possible. And that is something we learn as kids and adolescents, and also something that we can model as adults and help our children learn. And in life, and especially right now, there's so much that is outside of our control, right? Really, the only things we can control are ourselves, our actions, our choices, and our reactions to the things that happen around us. And I want that to sound like really good news, because it is good. We can control a lot about our human experience. It's not disempowering because life will happen, but we can choose certain things. And our health and wellness are one of those things, or what we put into our body and what we do with our body. We have control over that, and that can have a huge impact on our physical wellness and our emotional wellness. So the power is in our hands, and it's really our responsibility, especially in times like these, to not ride those rides if we don't have to. So researchers have shown that poor diet not only leads to physical health problems, but also impacts brain functioning. Brain studies have shown that what people eat affects not only the social emotional realm, but also academic performance in kids. And that can be, you can take that line of thought to work performance in adults. So there are studies that show, and again, they'll be linked in this slide, but what you put into your body has a direct impact on how your body functions. And that includes how your brain functions, what your emotions feel like, and how you perform as a human being, how you show up in life, whether it's studying for that test or getting that report done for your boss, how you treat one another. It's all impacted by your nutrition. Another really important piece of brain science to think about is that research shows that it takes 21 days to build a habit. So a lot of these tips and tricks, changing something, it can be really daunting and it sounds really difficult to do, But keep in mind that if you keep up with something, even just for 21 days, your brain rewires itself. Your body physically changes. So being persistent, especially through that 3-week mark, will get you to some really big physical changes that makes these habits easier. So you're changing your brain chemistry as you change some of your choices. So let's move into talking a little bit about food choices. And this is all taken from the USDA and their executive summary on nutrition for Americans and their guiding points. So some key points are like follow healthy eating across the lifespan. It is so important for kids and children to eat well, but also for us adults and older folks, seniors, to eat well. This matters for modeling for children and just our daily functioning across the lifespan. Focus on a variety of food types, nutritional density, and amount of food. So I think we've all seen those posters or pictures that say eat the rainbow, but you want to eat a wide variety of foods. Fresh food, different colored food, vegetables, fruits. It isn't good to eat just one type of thing all the time, every day. And in doing that and eating a wide variety, you also get nutritional density, um, because different foods give our bodies different things that they need to function well. So if you stick to one thing all the time, your body's only getting that one thing, but we need a wide variety of stuff to function well. Um, and also thinking about nutrient density. So for instance, a bag of potato chips is very different than a bag of carrots. Just with your nutrition, even if you have the same amount calorie wise, which would be a lot of carrots to meet a bag of potato chips, but just the different nutrition that it's offering to your body and how what goes into those products functions inside you as a human animal. Serving size, so the amount of food that you eat in a day or the amount of food that is in a package. I think serving size and thinking about that can be really scary and overwhelming. I personally hate looking at like the drink I'm drinking and turning it around and being like, oh, there's 2 servings in here and it's 100 calories and I just drank the whole thing, so that was like 200 or something like that. But being informed is really powerful. So knowledge is power, and serving size is a way of knowledge. Um, a good tip I like to give on serving size is like equating the serving sizes to everyday objects. So some serving size recommendations are very like nebulous. It's hard to imagine like, oh, what does 6 ounces of meat look like? I don't really know. Um, but for protein or meat, think of a deck of cards. That's about the right serving size. So usually when I'm plating my food, I'm like, oh, does that look like a deck of cards? Yeah, it's pretty close. And that would be what's considered a serving size. A cup, especially for solid foods, is about the size of a fist. So, you know, when I'm putting out rice or grains, like I imagine like, oh, is that about the size of my fist? Okay, that's about a serving. So equating serving sizes to everyday objects that you can visualize in your mind when you're picking up different things is very helpful. And also keep in mind that all of these recommendations vary person to person because we're individuals. Our body composition's different, our body sizes are different. What we do for physical activity is different. So this may increase or decrease depending on who you are as an individual and what your life is like right now. Some other general recommendations are to limit calories from added sugars, saturated fats, and reduce your sodium intake. Shift to healthier food and beverage choices. So making small changes, just in general, as far as the science of change goes, you want to set realistic goals or SMART goals. So breaking down a change into small, realistic, measurable, timely steps that you can take. So it isn't very realistic to, if you're drinking maybe 2 sodas a day, to be like, I'm gonna cut all that out and I'll just drink water. Maybe try reducing some things first, like cut down to a soda and a half for a week and then 1 soda a day, and then cut it down to maybe a soda every other day. give yourself the opportunity for success and cut down step by step. Odds are you'll be more successful in the long run like that. And also just some substitutions or small shifts can make big changes. So maybe try using a little less sauce or dressing on that salad, or try making something homemade. I love the opportunity that a lot more time on our hands is giving us to spend more time in our home kitchens. So baking that bread at home, odds are that's a lot healthier than whatever plant is manufacturing it. There's more nutritional density in something you make yourself and less preservatives. Again, switching from soda, trying to drink more water or drinking teas, infusing water with fruits to give it a little bit more taste, or even little steps like trying your coffee with maybe just a little less sugar or a little less cream. What would some alternatives be? So healthy eating includes a variety of vegetables that from all the subgroups. So again, this is the rainbow: dark green, red and orange, legumes, which are beans and peas, starchy vegetables like potatoes and others, um, fruits, especially whole fruits, grains, at least half of which are whole grains, and that'll say that on the packaging a lot. Getting foods from that are fat-free or low-fat dairy, including milk, yogurt, cheese, or fortified soy beverages. Eating a variety of protein foods, and that includes seafood, meats and poultry, eggs, beans and peas, nuts, seeds, and soy products. A healthy eating pattern limits saturated fats, trans fats, added sugars, and sodium. One other thing for adults to consider is alcohol as well. So if alcohol is consumed, and that's a choice, it should be consumed in moderation. So some typical guidelines for that would be up to 1 drink per day for women and up to 2 drinks per day for men, and only by adults of legal drinking age. So again, 1 per day for women and 2 per day for men. Women process alcohol a lot differently than men, and unfortunately, ladies, like, our bodies do not like alcohol, so that's why those recommendations are a little different with our fat percentages. Hydration, so drinking water is a great choice for everyone every day. Water has no calories, it has no sugars, fats, anything like that, and it helps to prevent dehydration, which can be a really serious problem, especially in Estes living at altitude. You can get dehydrated very quickly, and so can your friends and family who visit. Um, it is hard to suggest an amount in general for people to drink because, again, it's dependent on your body composition, how old you are, what you're doing daily as far as activity goes, and your environment. Again, for example, living at altitude, you need a little bit different water intake than maybe someone at sea level would. But keep in mind, water is your body's principal chemical component, and it makes up about 60% of your body weight. So you depend on it to survive. Every cell in your body needs water to work properly, and water helps get rid of wastes. It keeps your temperature normal, which is very important, especially in today's world. You want to make sure your temperature is normal if it can be, so you're not sick. Lubricates cushions and joints, and it helps protects sensitive tissues. And again, not drinking enough water can lead to dehydration, and that means that you can have your energy drained, you feel tired. And again, a lot of these physical symptoms, if we're not thinking, oh, well, I haven't had a lot of water today, it can lead you to think, oh, gosh, maybe I'm having another depressed day, or I'm just feeling so sad and lethargic, or again, trying to set yourself up for success by physically taking care of yourself. So then you can know if there are other symptoms present. That's not something as far as what you're eating or drinking, things like that. That old rule, though, 8 cups of 8 ounces of water per day is a good rule of thumb. Again, it's so individualized, like listen to your body, let that guide you, but that's a good starting place. You might need more than that. A lot of people likely will. But just monitor that. Again, thirst, like being thirsty, is a sign that your body is a little dehydrated. So if you have that or other signs like a headache or fatigue, try drinking a cup of water and see how that helps. And then just to touch on sleep, because sleep is so important. It doesn't really involve nutrition, but I'd be remiss as far as wellness and functioning if I didn't mention it. Um, we need sleep to function at our optimum levels on a daily basis. It helps our body restore themselves during the evening. And also, sleep has been correlated with your memory formation. So, especially think about kids who are learning and growing. If you don't get enough sleep, it's hard to retain and remember information, especially for school. So again, the recommendations are general and it varies by individual, but for preschool age children, you want about 10 to 13 hours of sleep, which sounds lovely. School age, so elementary, early middle, 9 to 12 hours of sleep would be ideal. Adolescents, so teenagers, 8 to 10 hours of sleep, 8 to 10 hours of sleep, which is hard to get if you stay up late and have to go to school, although that's a little different now too. And then adults, we're looking at 7 or more hours of sleep would be ideal. And I do want to mention the National Sleep Foundation has some great tools to try. They have sleep diaries, tips and tricks. That's one thing I've talked to a lot of people that eating well, drinking enough water, getting exercise, and sleeping has been tough during this pandemic. So again, these are some recommendations, places to start, resources to take to help us get back on track. Because while this will last longer than any of us like, if we can maintain a good routine now and keep up with some of these, the transition back to something more normal or our new normal will be even easier. And it'll help us do our best now, especially in a stressful time. That's what I have prepared for you today, Karen.
No, that's great. As you were talking, it made me think like the first couple of weeks during our stay-at-home orders, how I didn't care about what I was eating and staying up late and just kind of maybe that's my way of processing all this. And then like 2 weeks ago, I was like, this might be it for a while. So eat healthy, go and buy a lot more vegetables. You're twice a month to the grocery store trips. Work on those frozen vegetables, just having that, and just sleeping well, setting a bedtime for myself has definitely helped as well. So, and I didn't want to have to wait until my job got back to normal, then to work on eating healthy, because I don't know how far along I would be in like gaining more weight or feeling bad about myself and things like that. So all very helpful. I really appreciate this. So thank you so much, Hannah.
Thank you.